who
draft,
knows?
this draft here is going to show us exactly what that means for these two teams. Again, Bren Esports on the play, Nexplay EVOS on the red side, getting 2 picks themselves. Here comes the bands. There's the Jawhead, and there's the Paquito.
Quite interesting.
Well, not really like super surprising. You know what I'd be more surprised of is if we don't see a Phobius band here. Despite the changes on this guy, still is definitely one of the most dominant picks in the game.
I mean, at this point, we do see a Selena ban coming in from Bren Esports, still respecting the amount of information the Selena could bring for any composition. I would say the Popol and Koopa should be a high priority here, considering that Selena got banned out already. But let's see if they're going to ban it out in the first rotation.
I agree. Popol and Koopa, especially after Selena's taken out, his stock, their stock, just raises up so high. Again, because you don't want to be behind on vision. The only other option you have is Diggy, leaving those auto alarm bombs.
And Bren has a history of just denying Diggy picks as of recent. But no, you can probably think of them.
Could be a solution for Bren Esports here. Meanwhile, for NXPE, they're still deliberating on their third ban. I feel like at this point, Bren and NXPE, they just want to choke out one role, considering that Bren is focusing on the tank role, and NXPE is considering on the jungler role, the Paquito being a versatile pick.
Yeah, I was gonna say Paquito these days. I'd say 4 out of 5 times you'll see him in the jungle, given his role as a fighter. So the new patch actually did him a solid. But right now, Tuomi, wow. They do focus on the roamer. They do focus on position 5. All of these heroes consistently played in that role. The Joy, the Selena, the Cho. Now Nexplay, EVOS. Let's see if this is a jungler they're taking out as well. Evening the battlefield. I think if this is indeed, let's say, who's the last jungler out there that's, we can say, traditional? Roger?
Mhm.
If they take out the Roger,
Yeah,
that's it.
because Lance is not available for the picking.
And
Because,
Hayabusa.
the patches
Could be the Saber too.
Hey, that's something we didn't really think of.
Kill.
Although a little bit of a nerf, still pretty solid here.
Ooh, Phobius.
There you go with the Phobius. I was on the edge of my seat there. Was he gonna get banned out? Apparently will be. Thank goodness.
This leaves out Popol and Koopa, Matilda, high priority heroes, but yeah, Bren Esports, they're right in this marksman train. Hard. First pick in the name. Is this dangerous?
I think it is, but seeing the last series that we had, man, names can really tear it up. As long as you give it like just enough mastery. And again, throughout this whole season, I think only one team has really been super. They've been pushing on the names. I think that was Onyx that we saw last game. So I think from that example, you can tell that, you know what, some teams are definitely itching to tear it up as well in the battlefield.
Yeah, the Naden pick has been very good in terms of putting it in the mid lane or even in the gold lane. Marksmans in this meta really enjoy a lot of energy shield damage, but NXPE, they respond very differently from this Naden pick. They actually keep the Popol and Koopa open, takes the Koopa instead, and takes the Farsa despite Eve being open.
And this shows how much priority they give to Yaoi. I'm not sure if they were watching the Keys to Victory, or if this really is a part of their evolution, part of their process as a team. Bren answers back, picking up the thumbs, making sure Flapteasy is set where he wants to, unless this is a curveball. Who's to say? This might actually be a jungle thumb from Flapteasy, I don't know. But yes, as mentioned earlier, Matilda, more likely this is going to be a Lust hero, or even maybe Few in mid.
Not really thinking about and this is a very good flex. And Dayton can definitely tear it up on the gold lane as well. So, and by the way, gold lane priority has been increased because of the match as well for marksman. I'm pretty sure they would love to do that, so I think that's an option Brent should keep in mind here.
Don't play my heart rock hard. 4 marksmen? No!
I mean, earlier we did see 3 marksmen from the side of Omega or Onyx, but it didn't quite work out. But let's see if they could go for a 4 marksman composition soon in this league. Brand Esports, NXB rather, gonna ban out that Atlas.
Maximum would be 3 per lineup right now. Bren has 1, Nexplay EVOS has 1, technically, with Yusen Shin, who has been relegated to a assassin main. marksman secondary. Now going to the bans, yes, Alice taken out. They're reading this as a mid lane Nathan, so they're choking out gold lane options here from the ever reliable Rebo. For Bren, it's the Kaja. I'm wondering what were they stopping here? What were they afraid of?
Well, I'm actually not sure. For NXP, is it really wise to back up Rebo? This guy, one of the old
Your
players,
team is
most
banned.
veteran players in the NPL. Can you actually ban this guy? I don't think so.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there, Rockhard. He actually, stat-wise, he has one of the most high unique heroes picked. So there's really no sense of taking out heroes for Rebo. Maybe these are specific heroes that they want out for this composition to work out. Again, a lot of artillery. They do have the initiation as well.
Oh, and Bren Esports, they answer back, taking out choices from James. Well, one choice from James. There's a Filipino hero, historical figure, Lapu Lapu, the warrior from Mactan, Cebu. Let's see, next Levos, they have one pickup here. Should they give something to James?
Maybe the export. The export still open to take for James here, but I feel like Bren Esports is baiting it out. But looks like they're gonna go for two mages
Woo!
with Farsa and the Eve. That's two artillery mages in the back line.
So that does confirm that the Hitman is playing the farce.
So there's no way around that. If they do, if they don't drop like someone who's super sturdy on the XP lane, that's gonna be trouble for NXP, and I don't think they're gonna go for that. Still hanging on to what other staff Midnight said on Twitter. He said he's gonna bring out some surprises today, and I'm still holding out on you for that, man.
There's still one spot.
Still one spot there.
My good friend Robert Neal, don't let us down. This last slot here, this last slot could be that surprise you thought about, or maybe it could be game 2. It could be their finisher. Maybe game
before the
3.
finisher, before the clutch, right? I mean, that could mean a
this
lot
be-
of things.
Could this be a Baksha jungle for Bren Esports? We did see Baksha jungle on Kiel VJ on the third game. Might just be. We aren't seeing any other pickups, but we are looking at a possible native jungle. But this is such a mix-up for Bren Esports.
Then of course their last pick to complement the Baksha. One to go in your face, the other to hit you from a mile away. There's, I believe it should be, Rebo's Chang'e.
Yep.
He played the Chang'e in Season 7 like a god. He was sitting at 8-0, 9-0 at some point.
It's few.
It's Fuse?
Oh yeah.
You go on the fams. Whoa.
Wait.
Mm.
What is up here?
Okay,
Is that
nothing.
you zone? Yeah.
Yeah, nothing too out of the ordinary for Nexplay. It was, of course, the Yuzhong. That is the James special when they plan on splitting up. And, of course, the Hitman is here. Best believe these split push calls might happen.
Yeah, it's gonna happen whether you like it or not. And again, giving a very mobile hero to the Hitman definitely does serve NXP a lot of action.
I gotta say, I feel like Bren Esports here, with the Chang'e pick, they dominated so heavily in game number 3. Again, last week, view on this Chang'e was so amazing that by 5 minutes they were ahead by 4,000 gold.
Against the same opponent, right? So, I don't know if Nexplay Evos learned from that encounter and from this time around they've adjusted. Because, again, I think also, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. The Chang'e might also be a response to the Eve. You kind of want a hero that can match toe to toe. I mean, foot for foot, inch by inch. I don't know. Wherever you're from in the world, we're talking about distance. We're talking about range.
Yeah, I think that's actually something that can happen for sure. And that's something that's very difficult for some mages, especially short range mages to deal with. So they try to answer the Eve really easily here with one of the longest range heroes in the game,
Yeah.
right?
And I gotta say, like, the team fight coming in from Nexplay Evos is something that you need to take note of. With the Farsa Ultimate Feathered Airstrike paired up with a real world manipulation, you enter with the Black Dragon form. It's like a movie scene out there.
Michael Bay.
Like Michael Bay with a lot of
A
explosions.
lot of
I like it.
explosions.
Like Spielberg.
Respect that,
Mm.
man.
Oh, wow. The movie references, ladies and gentlemen, oozing, coming through your screen. Welcome to game number 1, Bren Esports versus Nexplay Evos. Here's interesting to watch, because Bren, they gave Rebo the thumbs. I was expecting to go with Flaptizi, but they gave the box to Flaptizi. That's his hero for sure, but what does it mean? Did they plan to hold on these side lanes?
I mean, the scary thing is, Bren, I mean, that's not even super surprising. The surprising thing is they're going for a marksman jump. Like that's something that teams are gonna be hesitant to do from now on, right?
Yeah, the mechanics that came through the patch would rather say you don't.
They shouldn't, but and I was half expecting a box jungle to be honest.
True. Or a Box jungle even.
Same.
Box jungle actually it clears faster. So you gotta say, what's Brent thinking here?
Hmm.
That's the biggest question.
Oh, well, I think what he was thinking is I gotta get out of here, flicker on through the purple buff wall, using the Cyclone Eye, getting the hell out of Dodge, saving himself one. A minute and 30 seconds in. What's Reba thinking? That's 3 members of Nexplay. He throws his sights out. Nothing much.
Yeah, not much, and I think that's to be expected at this point. Yeah, both of these players, really on the top side, I think they should accumulate gold a lot faster than we're going to be used to here, especially with H2O back on the East and shit.
Oh, yeah. And this is a hero that's hit or miss for H2. As noted by fans, especially those who watched him struggle with the identity of marksman and assassin in Season 7. But right now, this is another chapter in that same book. Carl Easy starting up the turtle. Lusty and Flat Easy, as well as Few. Wow! Poppin! The meteor shower early on. Yelly Hayes still has the real world manipulation. Here comes James!
Oh,
Black
man,
Dragon
good
Form
thing.
diving down onto Carl Easy, pops the entropy. Here comes the dance floor.
Still gets
Yelly
it.
Hayes hits a few, pushing out Bren Esports. First blood drawn by James. It may have taken a while, but he gets his man. Lusty taking down James. Here's the answer from Renegade, pushing Bren Esports further back 1-for-1. Who won that exchange?
Actually, that should have been a Bren easy take there, but then taking out the turtle buff away from Carl Teasy is actually a big deal. Not to mention, they're also closing up the gold gap pretty easily with 800 change, just a little bit to spare here. So NXP definitely keeping a good grasp of the early game, which technically on paper they should be losing this, right? They should be losing the early game on paper, but for some reason the Ascension still farming very, very well, and again, names kind of slowed down a little bit because of that loss of turtle.
And at the same time, Bren Esports, after they took down that turtle, they got maximum energy shields from that gold lane on Rebo because Rebo never left. He just went in for the energy shields.
So technically it was a 4v5 in the turtle. They minimized their losses, and right now, that's where Bren is sitting. They're ahead 1,500, and it was all off of Rebo. So this is one of the richest towns you're gonna see in Season 8.
Oh, definitely, and again with changes to mechanics, we can expect the gold to be a little skewed here for some members of Bren Esports, and giving a lot to the solo leaders. Actually, it's pretty big.
See, Rebo knows Yaoi misses by a centimeter or two. Rebo just watching. Nice try, he says. Get out of here, Tristan. And the rest of Nexplay Evos rotate out. Flat Easy, drawing a perimeter. James can't even get to his tier 1. Look at this. Carl
Yeah.
Easy chipping away. Black Dragon Form, where are you going, son? 3v1. Do they have an answer? It's too much damage. It's too much damage for James. He's pushing them off with the Shaw energy. And Carl Easy still alive. What? Turret aggro control.
Yeah, and they also control the HP with the revitalize there from Flat TC. Very clutch coming in there. Outside though.
Easy connection. I think Bren is just going to have to give this one up. So, yeah, I guess so far in the long run, given that it is a Nathan, they're trading out these short-term objectives for long-term gains, because right now they're keeping that lead.
Yeah, interesting note here, by the way, on that Nathan, that trying first, like, not really completing the boots right away, just wants to go for pure damage and attack speed if he can. I think that's to compensate for the, the loss of that really big additional damage modifier on Hunter's Knife and Retribution.
Movement speed too. I mean, as soon as he gets those hits on, the movement speed stacks up. So I guess he can catch up, even as a marksman.
I guess. So how do you like the changes here? Both of them actually are on marksman, but Ethan Shin is more of an assassin marksman. Right?
Yeah.
So he should enjoy that though.
I would say it's quite good for both NXP and Bren Esports here. They need to get gold, but here comes the massacre.
Oh, Few survives with about 1 HP and a half. Flickering on out backwards. Here comes the artillery. The cavalry, that is. Circling by Lusty. Catches. Yelly Hayes. Rebo gets the final blow.
Pretty big take there for Bren.
Yeah.
That was so I love that tenacity. I love that surprise factor you can do with a lineup like this. Like 1 second, you're the one being hunted down, which we saw was few. Next second, you can turn it really quickly with so much damage that the target just gets surprised. Like, oh my god, where did this damage come from?
Yeah, and Lusty is playing so efficiently right now. 6 minutes in, 100% kill participation, and might just be added right now.
No, this is a 4v3. Not a good look for Nexplay Evos. And of course, the
Unfortunate.
oddest, the most odd of pauses, ladies and gentlemen. But as it is, was called by our team. So we'll get back to that team fight. Now, before we were cut off by 2 consecutive clashes, I gotta ask, how is the Nathan Foria? Is it making sense now in the jungle?
Well, Nathan jungle, I would say that it's still experimental. The Nathan mid lane and gold lane has been out there for the longest time. One of the more efficient picks out there, especially on the hands of like players like Beloyski and Beloyski and Beloyski and Marky as well. But you know, at this point, Onyx has been playing so good so far. But going back to this game, this Nathan jungle, actually this is one of the first few times that we're seeing this Nathan jungle, and I would say that we have to wait and see if it's going to be effective. But the Hunter Strike early on, without the completed boots, is something that I question personally, mainly because the movement speed bonus coming in from Hunter Strike scales off of percentage. So if you have low movement speed to begin with because of your non-upgraded boots, then you're not going to enjoy a lot of movement speed to start. And I would say that it would be good by mid-game. The damage access, the instant damage access is great, but I feel like that's a choice that Carl TZ deliberately made.
A lot of important choices need to be made right now. Split second. Pause. Coming through. H2 saves his hide. Now James hunting down Rebo. Not a fight you want to pick. There's the meteor shower. There's the real revelation put down by Yelly Hayes. They're hunting down Lusty. He's right here to the east. Survives. Lets off a few wisps. And they disengage. Easy turtle take now for Bren.
And I was not surprised. I was also super surprised, rather. So I was expecting all of them to back off right away. Like usually after like a pause or someone, everyone just backs off. No, they go for the fight, right? And again, Rebo is doing his work here. He's a rich guy here for sure. So I'm liking what I see here for Bren. They don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon. And I think with this lineup, you just don't. Right?
Yeah.
You don't slow down. That's so important.
Oh, flapped easy. This is another bait. Pops, boy signs. Too much burst there. Lusty, a little too late to save the younger. Easy younger of the TZ brothers right now. Circling Eagle. There's Few. Trying to pin one down with the meteor shower. Does not quite get anyone yet. For the first time in a while, Bren Esports could not respond. They're going to lose this tier 1.
Surprisingly, a very clean catch there. And such patience there from Yowie. Really camped that bush out.
Oh, that crystal. Pinning down Lusty and Few. 2 in 1. The tip of the veteran airstrike. H2 getting hunted down by Flat Easy. Roll out, cancel. And they are going to use Real Revelation. Pin him down, make sure no more engages happen. Wow, Nexplay was making moves.
I like the moves they're doing. At the same time, I just want to question, like, what's up with Bren? They seem to be going non-stop, but they don't seem to be getting everything they want each and every time, man. They're slipping up a lot.
Oh! But underneath the turret, Rebo trades for James. What was that about? Revitalized left in by Flap TZ. They disengage 1 for 1. Was that a good trade?
I would say it's not bad. I feel like Yellow Haze is just doing a pretty good job here, and Rebo just wants that gold anyway. I think they don't even need those kills. They're just going for the turret damage as much as possible. You can see that turret on the mid lane is actually pretty. It's going to be very vulnerable later on.
I feel like this game will be based on who pulls the trigger first. NXPE does have that advantage mainly because of Yowie, but Bren Esports, they're trying to deny that advantage by clearing out minion waves, taking objectives, and running away.
Yep. And also by having these odd angles right now. Nexplay Evos thought they had it, but instead, after that quick turtle take, Bren Esports turns around. James says, I don't want none of this. The black dragon form already now half dragon. Yelly Hayes with a counter go. There's a real revelation, but he has 2 members on him. In front, down goes James. Down goes Yowie, the 2 fighters. Plus Yelly Hayes follows on through. Rebo is a madman. That's 3 for none.
Loving this so far. Backline support there.
Oh, no.
And as a great frontline and they got a good duo.
Oh, the defense by Nexplay Eagles, gotta give it up to them. They're trying.
Gotta give
They're
it up.
trying. And they are successful at least for tier 2.
Yeah, and that's what I'm liking here at least. For NXP Evos, they're doing their job. They're doing a pretty good job of just keeping the tempo going. At least they're not letting Bren Esports go without a fight. Although at this point, Bren Esports definitely making use of that turtle buff. They are map controlling.
Oh, they finally get one! But the Conquered Inferno able to keep Rebo alive! Yaoi bursted down, the answer by Yelly Hayes. It's a little too much. That's a double kill by Carl Teasy. James in the backline can't even take down Rebo. But the delay damage gets him. Shaw Energy coming on clutch. 1 for 1, let's see. Carl Teasy short of 1, he does. The switch up, the entropy active keeps him alive.
This is what I love about this name pick. Just so mobile right now compared to Yi Sun Shin.
The bait! The bait by Lusty shields up. H2 going on back. Renegade, he knows he can't pick this fight. And tier 2 goes down.
Alright. I just love how Bren Esports, they don't even have to fly with a Mathilda. They're gonna wait for Lusty to go down after his big flight with a circling eagle, then just drop down the damage themselves. They have the meteor shower coming in from Few. They have dives coming in from Rebo. And all the while, Carl Teasy is staying untouchable. Carl Teasy has suffered only 2 deaths out of 6 kills of NXPE. And this is so massive for Bren Esports because Carl Teasy is playing a marksman that scales really well in the late game.
That's true. Yeah, I kind of have to question that. Maybe Lusty just flying with a certain eagle just to like mess people up. He doesn't really want to take anyone with him. He's trying to do the bait place so that Carl Teasy can come in and wreak havoc.
You know it, and I love it because none of this would be possible if these 2 side laners weren't so sustainable. This is literally a 2-man damage cannon from Bren Esports. It's just Few, and it's just Carl Teasy.
Yeah, you can just throw Lusty there anywhere. Like, it doesn't even matter. You still have a good front line with Flap Teasy.
This is one way of using the patch.
And
okay, that's a nice fence Flap Teasy setting up there.
Yeah, he was pushing back 3 dudes.
Yeah, all on his lonesome. That's very interesting.
That's how far ahead Bren is, but the numbers will say otherwise. Nexplay Evil is fighting farm somewhere. I don't know where because this is a relatively breachable gap, like 3,000 gold between them.
Yeah, definitely.
And they are losing mid turrets here, so
Yeah, map is not theirs at all. So where is this farm coming from?
Oh, man. I feel like they just farmed out efficiently early on, but Renegade.
Oh, the answer back to the Fenton Airstrike. Here comes the meteor shower. James is doing James things, cutting right through the core of Bren Esports. He backs out. Job must be done here because they canceled the Lord. Live to fight another day.
I think that was absolutely fine there. Again, I feel like they're not answering the bottom side very easily. There's still a big wave pushing up on that turret, so they might lose a turret for this. They keep going.
Close the gap for Nexplay Evos, I guess. That is a push down bottom. Lord at about a fifth of its health.
Few.
Oh no! Kaldizi secures it, and Yaoi is in trouble. He goes down. Kaldizi gets him. Yelly Hayes splits up the real elimination, but he's got the 2 chunky boys on him. James is on a 1-man mission. Can he get Few? Answer might be no. Kaldizi takes him down.
On the other side, you've got James bullying 3 people. On the other side, you got Rebo doing the same thing to NXPE. That is definitely saying something for these XP laners. Our matchup is very, very well suited.
You know what sucks all the more here is Bren Esports, they had Nexplay Evos on both fronts. They were winning both trades.
And Bren, Rebo already getting season assist to 100. This might just be a massive push coming in from Bren. The timing on this Luminous Lord is insane.
On all fronts too, because look, there's a push up top. But there's Theo getting shut down by H2. Might have been a little too deep. El Capitan. Right now they want more. Yaoi keeps him down. Rebo, can the GOAT survive this 5-man assault? H2 takes down Flap Easy. Rebo a little too far already. He's ahead. I switched them up. Nonetheless, Nexplay Evos gets away with 2 kills.
Not easy there is dripping. I feel like that was just one of the ballsiest plays I've seen. And at the same time, it would have been not so bad maybe if we got some damage back up. But they were prioritizing to not let Carl Teasy die, and that's absolutely fine for me. Carl Teasy is definitely the main win condition here for Bren, but I don't really like Bren putting all their eggs in the basket of Carl Teasy, man. That's very risky.
Yeah, not just risky, but also very, I wouldn't say unreliable, but it's something that NXP knows. And if they do shut down Carl Tizzy, it's something that they would expect to happen. NXP at this point, they could potentially just shut down Carl Tizzy and call it a day.
Yeah. I think the word we can use there is fragile. It's
Yes.
so fragile. Not that it's bad. It's just you know how to get it. You know where it starts, you know where it ends. And James says, I've had enough of this. Time to turn into a dragon. Push Yell back. We're not ready for the fight just yet.
Well, that's fine at all for NXPE. If you're not ready to go fight, everyone
Oh,
just wants to
conceal.
farm up anyway.
Oh, can this be the counter goal we're looking for? There's the... Oh, the revitalize, and there's the real manipulation. Could this be one? A nice push in by Yowie. That's 2 down from Bren. Flap easy and a few. Where's Cartesi going? It's Rebo and Lusty protecting him.
Yowie.
Oh, jumping in, but another push back. Yowie now onto Lusty, and Immortality still up, and it gets popped. Right now, Rebo still going.
Oh, boy.
Inferno withstanding, and there's 4 members on him. Too much. 4 to go. H2. He's doing H2 things. Renegade says, go for it, man. I got your back.
Well, Carl TZ is back on the field here, so he can try to clear up these minion waves. But NXP definitely having better teamwork here in the late game.
Man, those team fights are insane for
What?
NXP.
Too much, Yowie.
Way too much.
That was Carl TZ on ya. Circling Eagle on H2. Oh, Carl TZ comes in.
Oh
Club.
my god!
Dashing in with the guiding winds. Taking down H2. Yelly Hayes and James. James and Yelly Hayes.
Big.
Carl TZ can't get him. Lusty doesn't have the Circling Eagle. They survived that, but only by so much.
NXP, man, they
Massive.
could have had more. Only they had a little bit more patience there on the mid take. But again, one slip up led to another.
Yeah.
We are
Man.
back on even Stevens on the map. And actually, Bren's on the push.
I just gotta say, you did mention the word patience. At NXP, they definitely lacked patience on that push down mid lane.
They
And
could've
now,
got more.
yeah, they could have gotten more. In fact, they could have gotten a better position around this Lord. Because of that massive error, that lack of patience in the mid lane, they're gonna surrender area around this Lord, and this might just be a big opportunity for Bren Esports to make a good play.
Yep. After Carl TZ gets his purple, they're gonna rotate here. Flap TZ and Rebo, you can expect them to put up a jurisdiction zone. Like, this is Bren's. You're not going anywhere. And there's a meteor shower. There's the Circling Eagle. Down goes Yowie. The response, real manipulation. Down goes Lusty. Half Dragon. James, he's about to turn into one, and they push him back. They stop the Lord, at least for now.
Lusty really plays this like a classic tank Matilda, or classic tank hero, but Matilda's just not as tough as Lusty thinks this hero is.
Oh, Renegade forced to use a feathered airstrike. Lord at about half health. Flapped easy in Rebo. Ever the reliable enforcers. Lord at about 6 of his health now.
H2.
There's no turning back here. There's the steal. Not so much. Carl Easy secures it. Just so. Flap Easy goes down. Renegade alive. Wings by wings. Able to keep him alive. Rebo not going anywhere. Few. Oh, H2 lack one more.
One more. Actually, there are a lot of close calls there in that last one. And a good job for Bren Esports, crowd controlling on the back line, making sure that, H2O can't go in for the steal. He's been one of the best stealing junglers in the game. And keeping him on the stun, the timing of that stun was just phenomenal.
Ooh, this is the second Lord for Bren Esports, and things has been going well for Bren Esports considering their objective control. Gotta say, view on that meteor shower was so precise that Renegade had to go wings by wings right after popping his ultimate, and that's massive for NXPD. Their zone control diminishes the moment Feathered Airstrike is cancelled.
It really is. You gotta ask, how long can NXPD keep this up?
Let's see.
Man, he is to pass the spells when they want to. And this might actually be the right time. James coming in, dancing right on through
Rebo.
the line of Bren. Cartesi shut down! Cartesi shut
Oh,
down!
boy!
This is not a drill! Finally, James Gambit comes through!
Right, after so many jumps there by James, man, congratulations. You got the kill that really needed. I mean, and alongside Yowie, obviously, right? I mean, the whole team there really contributed to taking down one of the slipperiest, is that the thing? The most slippery,
Most agile, most elusive.
elusive heroes in the game, right? And they caught him red-handed there.
they did their best, but I'm looking at the clock right now. We're not yet at TikTok timers. I'm guessing if they waited a bit, again, patience. But again, I don't blame them. You take what you can right here and then.
Mhm.
Especially right now for Carl Teasy, right? You
Yeah.
don't want to give this guy more farming time he already has.
Yeah, this is like his first death for the last 8 minutes, and that is massive for NXP.
That's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Pushing down, almost equalizing the map. The only difference between Bren and Nexplay was right now is one inhibitor.
Who would have thought, right? Like, we've been in Tapsy for 20 minutes already.
And here's what I'm thinking. Again, we talked earlier about how fragile Bren Esports' game plan is. I'm guessing Nexplay would have caught on to it, but Yowie catches one, not the perfect target.
James.
They try to disengage, a little dangerous right now. And there's the Mount Shocker. They know exactly where everyone is, but they don't know where James is. They call quits.
Yeah, that's a thing, right, for Bren. Like, they gotta always be aware that where that Yuzhong is, man. You can't really fight and then have a Yuzhong flying straight to your marksman. I mean, no matter how slippery, no matter how good of a micro Carl Teasy has, that Yuzhong's just gonna stick to
Yeah.
you like glue.
Plus the petrify from James, so it's really gonna be hard for you to escape that dragon the moment he lands on you. With the half dragon form, James does have the ability to lock on towards at least one target. Could be few, could be Carl Teasy, but he knows for a fact that Carl Teasy is the man to take down in this game.
And wasn't that what I told you earlier? I mean, you put everything on one basket, and XPE knows where that basket is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for the items to show because I'm guessing next Levos they may have started to build either Athena shields or Radiant armors because either of those would stop Bren Esports' onslaught. Because look, Carl Teasy deals magic damage. Few deals magic damage.
Same with Lusty.
That's it.
I guess
Flap
it was.
Teasy deals magic damage. Let's see.
That's right. Let's see here. Only on Yuzhong.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, and Yaoi.
Mm-hmm.
those are the two ones that need to go. They can catch the ults and the basic attacks from Carl Teasy all day. But that aside, okay, next Levo still has to respect Bren.
Good dude, yeah. But again, Yaoi's very close to completing all his items with immortality. It's going to be a little bit more difficult to peel off of the Dayton here. Yeah, and I think that's a sweet spot there for NXP to take advantage of.
At this point, I feel like Flap TZ already has enough items to tank a lot of damage coming in from the Farsa and the Eve. They need to make sure that the moment a Farsa and Eve puts down their ultimates, Few has the Meteor Shower. If Few burns the Meteor Shower to, let's say, clear out some minions and a fight breaks out, Bren Esports is losing out on potentially a big chunk of their massive damage.
And there you go. Few pops the Meteor Shower, looking for their spots, and they push in Lusty. Might have not